Hello and welcome to Unqualified Experts. That's Xia. I'm Nick. This is the show where we try to help the internet's most comical, latest questions, one problem at a time. Start off today. I like how you had to agree on that one. That's what we do here.
We do. That's what we do.
do that
and
here.
I think we do a darn good job of it.
I don't know about that.
No, we really don't.
No.
I went in for a doctor's consultation because I had a moment where I just hated absolutely hated my face, and I was like, it's too fat.
I mean, I say that every day.
That's not very nice.
What? Oh, continue.
So I made a consultation, story time before we get into our advice giving, where I made a consultation with a surgeon so apparently you can get fat sucked out of your cheeks, and there's also these little pads that they go in through the inside of your mouth, and they pull these little fat pads out that are like this.
Right.
And all it sort of does is give you a little bit more defined cheekbones, and it sort of like draws everything in like that. Now, this is just proof that I'm insane and I need to stop. The surgeon was like, yeah, no. He's like, we could take the sacs out. He's like, you already do have definition though. He's like, your jawline's fine. He's like, we could, and it would be very subtle. He's like, but we can't suck any fat out. He's like, there's absolutely nothing there. And he looked at my face for a good half an hour and made me turn a whole bunch and took photos. And he was like, honestly, the only thing I would do is take the buccal fat pads out. He's like, but you don't even really need that. And so it was really funny. So when I told him about the podcast, because they always ask, and I told him about it, I was like, yeah, we do an advice podcast. I was like, it's not real advice. No one should take it. And so that's sort of how I spin this podcast is it's not a real advice and no one should take this advice. But here we are. What were you going to say?
I was just saying, he's a quack. He doesn't know what he's talking about. You're fat as hell.
That's so mean.
Old fat face over here.
That's so mean. This is what I live with.
How much was the quote on that?
5,000.
Jesus, for just what, 2 things on the cheeks?
It's quick too. It's 45 minutes. You don't even go to sleep. They just inject your face. They numb it, and then it's like going to the dentist basically. They whoop,
okay,
and then pop it out. It's like a little walnut amount of fat.
Couldn't afford it anyway.
Walnut sack of fat. No, we couldn't. But if I wanted
since we're doing story time, I forgot last show to bring this up.
What happened?
Remember when we were at Trader Joe's? Okay, so we pull into Trader Joe's, right? We get out of the car.
Oh, yes.
We start walking towards the entrance of the store.
That was great.
And before the entrance is the carts, where you have all the carts in their separate, what would you call that?
I don't know. It's a little cart collection.
Yeah,
thing.
the cart collection thing in the parking lot.
In the parking lots. Everybody knows.
So some old man, put his groceries in his car and he was done with said cart. He, for some reason, this guy was old. He took the cart and as hard as he could, he was across from where the actual collection thing was. So he then takes the cart, pushes as hard as he could, and throws it, thinking, I'm going to nail it like it's bowling into the other carts. I don't have to walk over there, and it's going to be great.
And it goes right in front of us. So we're behind it as it's coming. He pushes it.
Yeah.
It goes right in front of us.
At record speed. It was going
fast.
quick for an old guy. Pretty
fast.
He winged it. And he missed the collection thing completely. And then it was about to hit a car, and he had the moment of oh, I need to go chase after this.
He was too far, and he was too fast, and he was too old.
He's like, oh, and it hits one car, and then it's about to hit another one. And he goes, oh, he turns around, runs into his car, and gets out of there.
Yeah, he starts laughing, first of all. He laughs a little bit, turns around, books it to his car, and gets out. Now, the first car that it hits is on and running, and their driver is in the car, and it hits the driver's side door pretty hard.
Yeah.
It whacked the shit out of it, so we're kind of laughing at it.
Oh, no, I'm laughing hard. I think it's hilarious.
It's
just because
so funny.
the whole thing, because he was so confident. I'm like, I'm going to push this car as hard as I can.
And he was so old. He was 70.
And he missed it completely. He wasn't even close.
And he looked at us too, because he saw that we saw.
Yeah.
He looked at us,
I was like, I don't care, man.
and turned around. Yeah. But the woman in the car gives us dirty looks.
She thought we did it. Yeah, we're some teens, doing some crazy things.
She got out of the car to look at it and was mean mugging us down. She was staring at us.
Yeah,
lady, we didn't do that.
It was the old man.
And also, why would the way we're walking as we're going into the store?
Why would we have a car? We just took a cart for no reason and go, hey, fuck your car, lady. Damn it, I cursed.
Nick,
I know.
You're gonna have to bleep that.
I'm not bleeping crap.
Screw your car, lady.
Damn monetization of YouTube and they're garbage.
I don't know why they make it so hard.
Oh, guys, it's for the children. It's not for the children.
The show isn't for children.
Yeah, but when we were walking in, I'm like, oh, it's funny that, she's so angry thinking it's us. But I'm like, oh, wait a minute. What if she is so angry she then keys our car?
Oh, I was worried about that.
And I'm like, well, our car's already keyed to crap anyway.
Pretty screwed up
Yeah.
from living in LA.
LA
Parking,
destroyed it.
oh my God.
Yeah.
I used to walk out from work and every day it was like, what new bumper scratch is going to be on the car today?
Yeah.
I had a friend who worked and they were parked in the neighborhood where we all parked to go to work. And she came out after her shift and the entire front bumper of her car had been taken off. The whole front bumper was just gone and not gone. It was hanging off and it just wasn't even on anymore. I had to get a whole new bumper and nobody left a note.
Of course not.
Nobody said anything.
I mean,
So,
if they it doesn't matter. I think I might have told this already when I was in Brooklyn going to the Jewish deli. Park the car, ate, come back out, and I see a note. I'm like, oh, this is odd. And some guy's like, hey, sorry, I hit your car. And I'm like, what? And I look, and there's this huge scratch on the side. And I'm like, how did you do this? Because it was in an area where it was
man.
you parallel parked, but somehow you did it where you hit my car. Like, there's plenty of spots. There's plenty of room.
He was an old man.
Yeah, he was. And I called him. I was like, hey.
These old people, man.
Like, thanks for leaving the note. Like, what do you... He's like, we'll get an estimate. I was like, all right, that's nice. All right.
Right. He actually did the right thing.
So far, so good. I get the estimate. I forget how much it was. Let's call it $200 to $300, right?
That sounds about right.
Right.
Yeah.
I call him. I go, hey, man, I got the estimate. It's $200 to $300. He's like, oh, that's crazy. I'm not paying that. I was like, he goes, I would think it would just be $50. And I'm like, are you serious? What?
$50 gets you nothing.
In what year? Even if it's back in the day, $50 for car auto body work? Where?
That's not even enough to cover the labor. The labor itself is like $75 to $150 an hour.
And I'm on the phone. I'm like, and I'm about to yell at this old man, but I'm like, what's the point? And I was like, dude, just forget it. Like, this is stupid. I just hung on the phone up. I'm like, I don't even want your $50.
Right.
Ridiculous.
No, that's insane.
Why even leave the note then?
Well, because he really thought that's what he was like, oh, this won't be a
Either
big
that
deal.
or he cleared his conscience. It doesn't matter. I leave a note. I feel good. Like,
maybe.
Shut up.
I really like your Jewish guy impression.
It's horrible.
It's great. I know. How about
Xia, why are you with this guy? Huh? Like, what? Him? Why him? You don't know me. This you only see me 1 hour a week. This isn't me. Like, what are you talking about, sir?
What are you talking about,
Oh,
sir?
my. Can you imagine? You know what? You should leave me. Please. I want you to leave me. I
don't want to.
You see, she doesn't want to. I'm telling her to go. She don't want to go. I want to go. She doesn't want to go. She don't want you, my friend. I don't want to be here, and she's keeping me.
Wait, what?
What? Okay, moving on to the first one here. Back when I was 18, I didn't have enough money to go to college. I also failed to get scholarships since I was mostly average. I thought about taking out loans, but an older guy in my neighborhood told me how he still couldn't pay off his loans after 5 years. That sucks. When you're old and you're like, yeah, I went to college, still paying it off.
5 years or 50 years?
It says 5. I don't know. Here's the thing. The person writing this is 30 now.
Okay.
Right? But they're saying back when they were 18. So I'm thinking when they were 18, an older person might have been 30.
Okay.
Or 28. You know how you're young,
Yeah,
you're like,
yeah,
they're
you're like, that's
old.
old. You get older and you're like,
I'm 32. Yeah, you're ancient. What?
Right.
Okay. So he told me he couldn't pay his loans off, blah, blah, after 5 years. So enter Penny, who was 43 at the time. She's the daughter of the company where my dad worked as a janitor. She's seen me around before since I was a young boy and asked me why I was looking so glum. I told her what was on my mind, and she said she paid me for sex. Ooh, Penny, really going for it.
All right.
I said yes. Somehow it ended up turning into a real relationship after I graduated. She no longer paid me for sex since I became her boyfriend. Ooh. A few years after I graduated and got a job, we married. Okay. When my wife told my friends how we met, they all accuse her of having groomed me. How do I get them to stop? Or isn't it possible to stop them? Is cutting them off the only choice I've got?
So he was 18 when they met and she was 30?
Yeah, so right now, as he's writing this, he's 30 and she's 55.
I feel like there's something to be said for that. I don't know. I hate to go the grooming route because I feel like people overuse that term a lot. They're like, it's grooming, and you're like, oh, I don't.
Yeah, I
really
don't
think
get it.
it's grooming,
I'm always
but-
talking to these middle school kids, and I'm their friend. I'm just giving them advice.
Yeah, you're not waiting till they're 18.
Hey, that's too old.
Oh God, maybe I am leaving.
Yes.
Oh Jesus.
Sir, you can have her.
Oh.
I'm sure she'll love you. I'm sure you're a great catch. What do you think about this?
So I think that it's tough because at 18 you're an adult, but you're also still kind of young and relatively impressionable. I couldn't imagine dating someone who's 18 now. That to me would feel really weird and creepy.
Every guy is yelling out, we can imagine. Anthony Cumia is yelling, of course, 18's the year to do it.
No, look, I know. I couldn't as a woman.
No,
I
it's
don't know.
weird. I mean,
It's
you got
weird.
nothing in common. They probably like pop music and, or...
But he was an adult. Like, there certainly isn't anything illegal about it.
Yeah.
You know? Like, it's not...
I would think if this was reversed, it would be looked at more harshly,
It would.
right?
Yeah, it would.
If he was 55,
And she was 30.
yeah, everyone would
But
be like,
but
"Oh."
if you had met when she was 30 and he was 55, that'd be a different story. Because as a 30-year-old woman, you're
It's still weird.
It's weird, but
Because it's like you're dating my grandpa.
yeah.
Why?
But this is a, you're a complete grown woman. You're making
Oh,
your
no,
own decisions.
you can
Yeah.
do that. But I think public perception would be, that's a bit odd.
Yeah,
That's a little,
yeah.
that's a little thinking about that. Oh, they do. Oh, that's kind of gross.
Some 50-year-old guys look good though. It's if you
Nowadays,
if you take care of yourself,
yes,
it's-
there's more, but
it's a little
it's still
different.
weird.
No,
55. I
I
mean, come
mean,
on.
yeah.
You know it's odd. We all know it's odd. Listen, like I said, you can do it, and that's your life. Do whatever you want. But when you're 18 and she's still way older,
Yeah, that's
and
where,
she's like, "Hey, if we do it, I'll give you money." Like that's
what guy's gonna say no to that? That's
No,
like he
I
gets
would-
to have sex and get paid.
Listen, I would probably take that
Of
too.
course.
I mean, depending on how she looked. I mean, I'm not going after some, some frump.
Well, but I mean, they got married. Jeez.
Yeah.
So clearly there was something there. I don't know. I don't know where I stand on this. He's 30 now. I don't know if that counts as grooming. He was an adult, but you're still really young at 18. You don't have your shit figured out at all. You're absolutely not like making good decisions necessarily. So I don't know. That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
I feel like because the main thing he cares about is the friends are all like, "Hey, this is really weird, man. Didn't know that story." Because I guess that would be kind of odd if you didn't know how they met, and it's like, "Oh, funny story. Oh, we've been married so long now, but you don't want to hear how we met." I was really sad one day because I couldn't afford college. And, she worked at the company my dad was a janitor at. And I told her my issue because she was like, "Why are you so sad?" And she was like, "Hey, I'll let you have sex with me and I'll give you money for it to go to school." Like, I feel like that'd be like, "What? Wait, whoa, what the hell?
Yeah.
What's happening here?"
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be odd?
Yeah, it would be very
It would be odd. Now, if she's cool, me as a friend, just talking for me, obviously, not everyone else, I don't think I would care if she was cool.
Right. Like if she was like a legitimately cool
What do
woman,
I
they're
care?
happy together.
You like old ladies? You go after your old ladies. You know what I mean? Unless she's like, if she sucks, I'd be like, this is horrible. What's going on here?
Right.
Because if she's not cool, it's like, what are you doing?
Right. I mean, don't you have a friend who is dating someone older woman, but she's really cool? So
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I was trying to think who you were talking about. Now I know.
Now
Yeah.
you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
she's fine. She's actually
Yeah.
way better than any other
Very-
person
very
that he's
sweet.
been with. Very sweet. But it's not the same scenario of like they met when he was super young.
No, he was a full-grown adult.
He's
with
an grown
children.
adult. Yeah. So it's a little different.
This is on the line for me. This is a little bit on the line for me. The problem is that you're already married to her, and your friends being that way certainly isn't doing anything or helping anything. I don't think that at this point in your life, you're 30 years old, you guys are married, that they're gonna like save you somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't understand their we obviously don't know
Right.
all the pieces. Maybe she does suck. Maybe they're just
Maybe
like,
she
what the
does,
hell?
yeah.
Or maybe they're just uptight and your friends are just like, I don't know, either religious or just weird in general about things. We're like, oh
Could be.
no.
Something like that.
Because at what point, who cares? Right?
Yeah, I
Who
don't care who
cares?
my friend's with as long as they treat them well.
And it's
That's all that
funny, that's
matters.
how I feel, but a lot of times they treat him like crap, and I say something, and I'm the bad guy.
And you're the bad guy. Well, that's the thing. It's hard to tell your friends that their partner sucks.
Yeah.
It's almost never
it's
going
easy.
to go
It's easy
well.
for me to say something. It's hard after the fact.
That's what I'm saying. It's almost never going to go well because
No.
it doesn't matter how much they suck. If they love them and have feelings for them, they're going to make excuses for them. So
Yeah.
you saying something typically isn't going to do anything. Now, if you're a good friend, a lot of times you feel like you have to.
Yes, that's been my point. I'm like, listen, I don't like doing this, but I would feel like I have to do a service of like, I'm your friend. I would want you to tell me. Like that's, as a friend, you should be like, hey man, I'm looking out for you. But it never works out that way.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It's only usually after the fact that they're like, once it explodes in their faces, they're like, oh, you're
Yeah,
right, man.
I guess you would talk to your friends and be like, hey man, I mean, this is it. I mean, I'm not gonna leave her. If everything's cool, it's like you guys just gotta accept it. And then if they don't, you move on, which is unfortunate to lose all your friends because they're
Yeah.
like, whoa, that's how you met. That's creepy. Sure.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like if they said something once and you're like, all right, cut it out. But the fact that I guess they keep bringing it up.
Yeah.
Because again, you're 30 now. It's been a long time.
And you're married to her, so it's like we're getting divorced now and make it why?
Yeah, especially if you're happy.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's weird. You're 18.
It's weird.
That's young.
I don't know. I feel like it's one of those. The ending is those stupid Hallmark cars of like, what is it, like let live or whatever?
Live and let live or let live.
Live and let
Live
live.
and let live.
Oh, whatever
Whatever the
the
fuck it is.
stupid saying is. Yeah, it's one of those.
Look, the I don't know. The more, I don't know the word I'm looking for. Depressed maybe isn't it, but whatever it is, the more cynical I get, the more you really start to realize the things that a lot of people think matter don't matter.
No.
Because, bro, death is coming for everyone.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what, we're all gonna die, and we don't know. Look, you can believe what you want to believe. The fact is, we don't know what's on the other side, if anything. There could be something else, but there could be absolutely nothing.
There's nothing. Do you remember what happened before you were born? That's death.
Most
Emptiness.
likely. I mean, that's as much as we really know. No, that's probably it. But the point is that I think that we tend to make things that don't matter too big of a deal, and we don't focus enough on the things that do matter.
Yep.
I think that that's something that as humans we do a lot. It's a sort of a human flaw.
Yeah, I'm right, you're wrong. What's the difference?
Right.
I'm right.
And you're like, okay.
Okay, great. Do you feel better now?
I hate getting into arguments with people online. I just don't do it. I don't do it. It's
Well,
stupid.
just like I was joking about, some guy literally was like, you should leave him and be with me or whatever he said.
Someone said that?
It was something to the effect of that, where he's like, why are you with this guy? And it's like, why do you care? Like, what?
Right.
I mean,
Oh,
it's
right.
it's your life. Like, 'cause
Yeah.
we're basically, it's the same thing as this question. It's like the friends being like, oh, and it's
Why
like,
are you with this person?
because I chose this person. Like, what? Why? You know what I mean? You don't know me or him because you're
Right.
not even. We're not even your friend.
Right.
You're some random dude on the internet being like, I watched this podcast and he's a goofball.
And you're like, yeah, but I like goofballs.
Yeah,
we
it's
have
like-
a lot in common, and that's
every-
kind of the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like we actually have a lot of. That's the reason, not just this dumb podcast we do. I'm just saying that the podcast isn't dumb, but the topics that we talk, it's like a comedy dumb podcast.
It is dumb. It's
We're not
stupid.
doing anything
I
serious
absolutely
here.
love it, but it's stupid.
Yes, it's very stupid.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the time I worked at GameStop, and my manager was this girl who I worked at multiple GameStops with. She was very cool, and she always dated the worst guys, just like
I
horrible.
hate to see that when someone
Oh.
who's really awesome is dating garbage people.
just
It's the worst.
trash. The guy, he has to be tall and with the tattoos, and he's like a scumbag because that's
Not to
apparently
say
the best.
that all tall, tattooed guys are scumbags, but because
I'm saying he was.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
I'm just giving. That's what he looked like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he came in one time, and I was working one of the days he came in, and I was being myself. Now, working at GameStop to me was like, it's not a serious job. It's part-time. I'm a kid, I'm 18 or whatever, whatever age I was working there, 16. I don't remember.
see, that's what I'm saying. You look at an 18-year-old as a kid. When you look back on yourself at 18, you're like, yeah, I was a kid.
Yeah. And I was just being myself because it should be a fun place to work. It should just be, we should have fun, enjoy it because it's a dumb video game store. What's serious about this? Nothing. Right.
Yeah.
So I like to have fun. I like to make people happy working there because I always hated working for people because I was a manager too. I was just like the underneath manager,
Assistant manager?
Assistant or whatever the hell it was.
underneath manager.
I don't, I was, yeah.
On top man.
Hey. So I would always like to have fun because I'm like, I don't want all the people under me being miserable when they come to work. Like, let's at least try to make something out of this where we could have fun, but also get stuff done. And he came in, witnessed whatever he witnessed. I don't know what it was, right? The next day, she's like, yeah, he doesn't like you. And I was like, why? Like, I don't even know. He doesn't even know me. He's like, well, he said that you don't take yourself seriously. And I'm like, I work at a GameStop. I'm 17, 18, 16, whatever, age I was. What does he care?
Well, also, why do you want to take yourself so... I mean, you should be serious about yourself, but just in general in life, you take everything so seriously.
Yeah,
so
like
boring.
what? Like what the hell? I was dumbfounded by this.
That's the guy that can't take jokes and can't take jokes about himself, probably. Like,
and here's the thing: I didn't even interact with him. The most I probably was like, hey, man, nice to meet you, whatever. And then I did whatever I was doing, But he saw like, oh, he doesn't take himself seriously.
He's having too much fun. He's having too much fun at work.
Okay, man, cool.
Too much fun at work.
Sorry, I'm not like you, where I'm just stoic and very serious, working at GameStop. Like, what the hell, man? I never understood that.
Yeah, that's
I never got that.
Really, really weird.
Yeah, like, what, am I going to steal your girl because I'm actually funny and have a personality? Like, it must have been that, even though I was not trying to do that at all.
How old was she?
She was probably, let's say, 2 to 4 years older than me.
Oh, okay. So it was within the age range.
Yeah.
So
she was definitely older, though. She might actually have been older. I don't know. I'm just trying to be nice. She might have actually been 4 or more, but she was not old.
Not
she was still in, like,
okay.
The oldest she would have been like 24.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was just very odd. I'm just like, what the hell? Like, who cares, man? I'm already in a relationship. Like, I'm not trying to...
Some people are just really, really insecure in themselves, so they have to pick on other people. I think that's a lot of what it is. I noticed that when people pick on other people, they're typically very insecure in themselves. It's a lot of projection. And when you start to like realize that and notice it, and you see these people, and sometimes you see these people that are really shitty, and you see them in real life, and you're like, oh, this makes so much sense. Yeah. And then you sort of stop feeling like angry at them, and then you just kind of feel bad. You're just like, I just kind of feel bad because you're such a loser.
Yeah, no, at that point, I wasn't angry at him. I was just like,
this is weird.
What is he talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, excuse me, let me come in with my suit and tie to GameStop and be like, all right, guys, you guys having fun? Well, you need to stop right now.
Especially also considering where you work. It's literally a video game store where kids go in to buy stuff to have fun with.
Yes.
Like, that's kind of the whole point of it.
Yeah.
You want people that are there to have fun. That's, you get them excited to buy something. Someone that's knowledgeable about games, which you were and still are.
Well, not all games. I got yelled at one time by some nerd.
Oh no, what game?
Well, because I didn't have every system. I didn't have money to buy everything, right? So I always had...
no one knows everything.
You had to work at GameStop. Apparently, I was misinformed. I shouldn't have been working there.
That's a little silly. So what was the thing that you didn't know about?
I always had Nintendo and Xbox, right?
Same, growing up.
I've never had Sony. It never interested me. I wasn't into those RPGs. I never was interested in those weird Japanese games. There's nothing wrong with them. Just for my taste, they just didn't speak to me.
You weren't a Final Fantasy stan?
Well, that's the problem.
I knew it. I knew it was going to be Final Fantasy.
I never played Final Fantasy.
Fantasy.
And listen, I'm not saying they're bad. I'm not saying you shouldn't play them. I haven't played them. That's it. Like, that's the end of the conversation.
Yeah.
Beginning and the end. Well, this guy found out who came in the store that I never played. Well, you're not a real gamer then.
Oh,
you're not a true gamer. You shouldn't be working here. You never played Final Fantasy. Oh, he's never played Final Fantasy. And I'm like, dude, what? You're freaking out, man.
Did you really freak out that you never played Final Fantasy?
Yes. And I'm like, what the? Who cares?
Oh, my.
Yeah, it blew his mind, and he was very upset.
Oh, my.
He took his business elsewhere. Oh, I'm going to go to the...
Did he really?
Which is funny because the mall I worked in had 3 video game stores, right?
Let me guess. GameStop owned them all.
Exactly. So I worked at a store called Planet X.
Okay, yeah.
Which was owned by...
GameStop.
What was literally right below us? GameStop. What was down one of the corridors? XiaLand, owned by...
GameStop.
And this happened all the time. Not just this guy. Well, I'm going to go get a better deal at the other one. Okay. It's the same store. And I used to call ahead, like, hey, just letting you know, this guy's coming by to get a better deal, and they've been
It would
messed
be a
with him.
joke.
Yeah,
with
it
you
would be
guys.
like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
That is hysterical. That is so funny.
And which is even more hilarious about it was the stores had all the same signage because the company would send out promotional every month of the signs you would hang up in the stores.
Mm-hmm.
The cardboard cutouts, the deals, everything was the same
Posters,
because
yeah.
corporate is all about, has to be the same. There can't be anything different,
no
right?
deviation.
No, yeah, exactly. So it's like you walked into each one of the stores and it was all the same. The only difference at the time, before GameStop actually changed the logo in front of the store, like they never changed our store. It was always Planet X. I guess they couldn't afford to change the name to GameStop. Whatever, right? That was the only difference, though. So I'm like, these people are morons. Like, how do you not see it's the same store?
I don't know. People are stupid.
Oh my god.
Another thing where people care about things they shouldn't care about.
No, it makes no sense. But let's move on.
Moving on.
I'm a 22 female.
Nose is itchy.
And my work environment is very chill and goofy. We're constantly talking crap and having fun. We're all in our 20s. I've been here for almost a month. So my two coworkers, one female, one male, were talking in code and laughing so loud, they're not taking themselves seriously. Like she would say, would you do A? And he would say, I don't know, but I definitely would with B. Then my male coworker said he was in a great mood, and my female coworker asked if it was because of what they talked about in the back. And he just started laughing so hard and said, no, but kinda. It sounds like high school, right?
I was going to say, what is going on?
Where do you guys
here?
work?
I know you're in your 20s, but this is.
So I was curious. I wanted to know what it was. They were practically rubbing it in my face. I kept asking and they wouldn't tell me. So then my other female coworker wanted to know too. There was 4 of us on the floor. So finally the guy asked multiple times if we were all mature and asked me how long I'd been with my boyfriend. Then he told the female who knew what was going on to explain the conversation to us. She said that he liked my ass and not the other girls. Then he yelled at her and said, that's not right. But you said that. Why would you say that? Oh, okay. Then proceeded to say that they were talking about if they have any other coworkers they're attracted to, but wouldn't do anything with. And he said that he was attracted to me and would F the S out of me if he got the chance. That's real strong verbiage.
Yeah, that's a bit much there. Jesus, dude.
He said he told my manager this. They're friends outside of work, too. I literally didn't react. All I said was, me? And pointed to myself. And he said, yeah. Then I didn't say anything else. I don't know why, but I got embarrassed. I had to leave to get water, but I realized that my chin was quivering. It only does that when I'm about to cry, but I didn't feel like I was going to cry. I had a feeling that he liked me, but I didn't expect that. Last week, he was literally telling me how he's trying to get his fiancée pregnant and that they're about to get married.
Jesus.
So I really don't know what to do. I work with him in a few hours. I haven't told my boyfriend either. It was so awkward and uncomfortable. And I have a feeling it will be very awkward today. I now wish he didn't tell me. Anyone have advice?
Are you working with children? I've never been in that situation ever. And I've been in lots of everybody who works together wants to bang situations because you work with a bunch of young kids.
I mean, that's everywhere. I don't think that matters what age it is.
No, you're right. You're right. And that is everywhere. But I've never seen anything quite that apparent.
Well, here's the thing. I'm going to take the guy side on this.
Are you?
Because listen, they were talking in private, right? They were laughing and the laughing became non-private, right? But they didn't say anything. The coworker, her, was like, I need to know what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, maybe don't talk about it at work. Don't talk about how much you want to F the S out of your coworkers at work.
Everyone does that.
Because they're friends outside of work. Talk about it outside of work.
But we're here. We're bored. We're working at Gamestop. I mean,
guess,
who knows where they're working?
I don't know.
So, but what? But if you then go out of your way to say, hey, what are you guys talking about? Please tell me. And they're like, no, we don't want to say. And it's like, no, tell me. I want to know. And then he's like, are you sure? Are you guys mature? And like, yeah, tell me. So it's like there were so many barriers of we didn't say anything to you directly.
Yeah.
We talked in code, right? You then harped on us to tell you. And then after we told you got upset, that's on you, man. No?
Maybe you could have lied about what you were talking about.
But you begged me to tell you. I think that's ridiculous. I think if you begged me to tell you, and I was like, are you sure? And you kept begging me, and I was like, all right. And I tell you, and then you get upset. I think that's ridiculous.
Yeah, to an extent.
I would be on your side if he went up to her and was like, hey, man, I want to F the S out of you. And that'd be like, whoa, workplace, dude, what the hell? Like, what?
Like, what are you doing?
You're trying to get your wife pregnant, and I have a boyfriend. Like, what's happening here? You know, like, well, you have the best ass, and I want to. And it's like, well, whoa. And then I'd be like, yeah, you're right. You shouldn't do that. But that's not what happened.
Yeah.
Now, people would be like, well, Nick, you can't say that in any, even if she begged, you still couldn't say that. Sure. Fine. That is a point. I get that.
I was going to say he could have put it differently. Could have just been
But then he's lying. Then he's not saying what happened.
But you don't have to. You could just say something like, was saying I was attracted to you.
It's stupid.
It's not really, though.
Yes, it is. It's horrible.
Why?
I hate censoring. Like, the fact that I have to go F the S out of people on this podcast because YouTube is like, well, we're going to demonetize and take your stuff down. It's like, gee, come on, man.
No, that's annoying. But this is a different situation.
But you beg me to tell you. You can't beg me to tell you, and then I'm like, are you sure? You're sure? And you're like, yeah, I can handle it. And I tell you, and you're like, oh, I can't handle this.
You can still say it in a way that doesn't necessarily have to be
okay,
that.
How would you say that?
Just what I just said.
I'm attracted to you, but that's not, it has nothing to do with that. I want the F the S out of you.
That means you're attracted to the person.
Yes, but I'm doing specific exactly what we talked about. I want your ass. You have the best ass out of anyone who works here.
You could have leave the F the S out of it. That's all I'm saying.
That's ridiculous.
They could have left that out of it.
That's ridiculous.
But
you asked. You can't ask and then be upset. I'm like, oh my God.
I guess. There are certain things, and I mean, I guess when you're always, this doesn't seem like a super serious work thing, work environment, but I don't know. It's tough because it's at work.
Yeah.
That's what makes the situation tough. No matter what, you are still at work. The advice I have for this girl is act like nothing happened. I think that's the only thing you can do. The awkwardness is going to be there for a bit, but then it'll go away. Her
awkwardness is knowing, because girls hate when guys want to have sex with them for some reason, even though every guy wants to have sex with every girl they see. That's just how it goes. So the idea is in her head of like, oh my God, he wants to have sex with me, when really everyone who works there wants to have sex with you. It's just out there now, and you know it 100%, even though you try to act like, no, we're just friends. I think it's ridiculous. You asked. You can't. I understand it's against like corporate things and work. You're not supposed to be saying any of that. I understand that. But I just, if you beg me to tell you and I tell you and you get upset, like that's so to me insane. About any situation. Even if it's not about sex, just anything.
Yeah. There was a post that I saw about being blunt that I actually really liked. About being
smoking
blunt.
Smoking the cheeb?
No, I wonder if I saved it.
As Norton puts it.
I wonder.
Getting that herb.
Oh my God. I wonder if I saved it because it was interesting.
Oh God, here we go. We got the old lady going to search for 20 minutes. I'll find it.
No, I just want to see if I saved it. If I didn't save it. If I didn't save it, then it doesn't matter. But it was just this thing that I saw.
Well, what do you guys think? Like, do you agree that if she begged and then the guy was like, all right, and then she gets upset, is that on her? Or do you think that he should have never said anything even if she begged? I would love to hear your guys' comments on this.
Yeah, I'm also curious on that too. I don't know. I think just knowing that that's not necessarily something that you should say at work, maybe I just wouldn't have said it. But that's not what this girl's asking for. She's asking for advice. I don't really have advice for you. It's out there. You kind of just have to deal with it.
Yeah, it's done, lady.
It's done. Yeah, I don't think I saved it. But just something about how you don't have to be a blunt asshole to speak and don't hide behind that to be, oh, I'm just telling the truth. You know what I mean?
You're getting into something else, I feel like. I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
But if you're asking me what exactly did we talk about, and I give you the specifics, exactly what you want to know, what we exactly said. I'm not trying to be a brave soul of being vulgar for no reason or trying to be like holier than thou, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving you exactly what was said, what happened. This is the context. Here you go.
No, I mean, I know you're right. She did ask, but I don't know. I just feel like I would know better at work to be like, you know what? This isn't a thing that I say to someone that I work with. That's all. I would just be like, look, I was saying that I was attracted to you. Might have been a bit of a vulgar way. And kind of left it at that. But that's not the advice that we're asking here. For you, lady, I got nothing. You got to just deal with it.
I mean, it's over. There's nothing's going to change. You either don't work with her anymore, or you just go, hey, man, I know I asked. I'm uncomfortable with it. Just letting you know.
Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Can we just leave it at that?
Yeah.
Because, you know, I've had so many coworkers come on to me. It happens. I mean, it's just part of when you work with people, it happens.
Guys, yes.
Guys, yeah. When you work with guys, it happens girls too.
I mean,
Girls
Jesus,
come on to,
the girl I was talking about at Gamestop, everyone was trying to bang her.
right.
And she wasn't even that good looking.
Doesn't matter.
No, I know that.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, it just...
It's one of those things, yeah. And I've got hit on a ton at work. I don't know. I felt like just because I was young and maybe I didn't care, for some reason, to me, it never felt awkward. I was always just like, oh, well, whatever. And then it was
Because you crave attention. You just want attention. If there's another girl, you see how upset she gets when there's another girl getting attention? I love that. And it's like, dude, what are you talking about?
Who says that?
Oh my God. When you do Chip and you have like a female comic on or something, and then they talk for a second and everyone's paying attention to them, some crazy dudes think that you're like, oh my God, they're not looking at me now. Please look at me.
That's insane.
I know. And I know that's not you, and that you would never even think that.
No.
And I'm like, these guys just make up crap in their head and like, this is fact. Like, you're so off on this.
Wow, that's hilarious. I don't read comments because for this reason, because I'm like, oh, these people are insane.
Oh yeah, they're nuts. They're just crazy. And I'm just like, well, that's not true at all.
Oh,
and
that's so
in
funny.
fact, it's the opposite. You love Karen in the comics. Like, you actually go to their shows.
Yes,
We've
and
gone to see them.
I also, when Jim and I are discussing what guests to have on, I bring them up regularly.
Yes.
I'm always like, oh, what about so-and-so? They
Yeah.
haven't been on in a while.
Yeah.
Someone tweeted at me about having, oh my God, I completely forgot her name. I feel so bad. She's really sweet though. Anyway, having her on, and like I brought her up to Jim. By the way, I don't get to decide who's on Chip. Jim has to okay everybody, and they have to want to be on the show.
Another idiot.
Yeah, I know.
You said that Xia books the people.
I do.
She does. She doesn't, but Jim picks the guest. And
yeah.
he's like, I don't, you're a liar.
Cannot compute.
You don't understand how things work, sir. You know you can do both, right? Like, when I worked on Maria Menounos' show, yes, I was able to book some guests on my own because she trusted me. But most times, she picked the guest, I then book them.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
I don't get to just decide who comes on. If they've already been on and they're on a list of people who like Jim likes and wants to have on, then I can ask them without asking him. But if it's like a new person, I always have to. I can't just decide who comes on.
Yeah.
I don't have that kind of power.
There's so many conspiracy theories and comments of like, you guys, because I love that I know all the inside because I'm around it. So I know exactly what's going on. And they're always so wrong.
They're really wrong.
They're not having Anthony Cumia on the Chip Chipperson podcast because of Bill Burr. Bill Burr banned Anthony Cumia.
Also not true.
I mean, sir, you just made that up. You don't know that.
Yeah,
you know why Anthony's not on? Because Anthony's doing the show the same time Jim's doing his show.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's the only reason.
It's the only reason.
It's just time, and I've explained that a few times, and most people are like, oh yeah, okay.
Jim picked Bill's side. Ugh.
It's not. Jim loves Anthony. Like, there's no.
And then you guys you specifically made it a point to get him on recently. Like you did the show.
We worked really hard to make it work.
To find a different day,
that he could
a different time
where Jim wasn't out of town.
Exactly. And then you guys had him on, and those people still were like, oh, and it's like, but he just was on.
He was just on.
What?
And it took a lot of doing to make the time and the day work because Ant is the best on Chip. But that's what I was saying. This girl that was on, and I ran her by Jim, and Jim was like, oh yeah, I love her. And I was like, okay, great. And I booked her, and she immediately said yes. Like, I'm not like trying to stop girls from coming on. I actually go out of my way to get them
it's not
on.
she's trying to stop them. She doesn't like when the attention isn't on her.
I don't really
needs the attention.
I don't really like when attention's on me.
No, I know. I hate it too.
In general.
Like, you guys don't understand anything. Like, I'm not talking about you guys. I'm talking about
you guys, the people on
the other people who watch Chip Chipperson.
That's so funny. I did not know that you said that.
They're lunatics.
Wow.
They're just stupid and just really dumb.
Yeah, I don't care about that.
And to the people who don't know Jim Norton or Chip Chipperson, we apologize for talking about something you guys have no idea.
This inside thing.
Just realize,
what are these guys talking about?
Yeah, just realize we're talking about idiots who comment on videos that have no idea actually what happens.
Just a bunch of mentally ill people.
Yeah, they're
pretty
stupid.
sure that one guy actually is mentally ill.
Yes,
like
yes.
Or autistic or something. There's definitely something wrong.
Something's going on.
He's not so good.
All right, so moving on.
Moving on.
Okay, this is a 23-year-old female talking, and the dude she's with is 27.
All right.
Honestly, this is a huge issue for me.
Oh boy.
He is a conservative Christian, and I am not.
Oh boy.
Surprised you guys are together.
I was gonna say this isn't gonna work out. Already, I'm like,
Watching the rehearsal with Nathan Fielder, when there's a point where he has to give the kids back, these child actors, and he at one point was pretending to be their father, and he was teaching them a little bit about Judaism as well as Jewish, as well as Christianity, and then the actual parent of the kid had to have Nathan tell the kid that Judaism is not real, and that Nathan's going to hell, and that the kid should make believe Judaism doesn't exist and just get it out of his mind because, Christianity is the only real religion and Jesus is everything.
It hurts me.
And it was just hilarious. Like, wow. Like, this mom thought that was like, cool. Yeah, just tell him. And Nathan's like, he knows he's doing it for TV. Like, sure, I'll say that if you want me to.
Yeah, he doesn't care, but it was
Judaism is not a real religion. I'll burn in hell,
Even though the Jews don't believe in hell.
Exactly. There's no hell in Judaism. It's so fun. Yeah, well, because remember, that's not the real religion. And in the woman's mind, Christianity is it.
Well, everybody thinks that way about their religion.
I know.
Everybody thinks their religion.
If you're Muslim, that's it. All the other religions are crap. If you're Christian, all the religions are crap. Jewish and the other 3,000 religions out there.
There's 5,000.
Oh my God.
There's over 5,000 religions, and I think there are 5 main religions.
And guess what? They're all wrong. No one knows anything. Nobody.
No.
That's how it goes. We make things up to make ourselves feel better. It's always been like that.
And look, I'm not even saying that there isn't some kind of a higher power. I consider myself more agnostic,
but we don't know. No one knows.
That's what I'm going to say. We don't know. And I think that our brains couldn't actually comprehend if there was some kind of...
We can't even comprehend
higher power or...
the stupid crap that we technically should be able to comprehend here.
Oh, we're really stupid.
Yeah, we suck.
But no. As humans, we're really dumb. We're we're not advanced at all. We're stuck in the Stone Ages still, technically. We've advanced a lot, but we're still stuck in the fighting amongst each other and starving phase. We're real stupid.
Well, I think I said that I bring this up before, that there's levels of getting to a higher society. And one of the leaps is there's no more religion because you realize it's archaic and ridiculous.
Right. But we are not even close to that. We're not close.
And also working together, which
we're not close to.
Happening. Yeah, it would have to be an Independence Day alien invasion. Because listen, the only time I've ever seen things that were so good, where everyone was treating everyone great and everything was peaceful, and I've never seen this in my life. It's at one time, and people who live in New York know what I'm talking about. 9/11. 9/11, horrible, right? After 9/11, there was a good year, maybe not even a year, but I will say a year, where everybody, I mean everyone, was nice to each other, showing it can be done. It just takes something so bad for all of us to come together.
Well, and it didn't last either.
No, it didn't last at all. Never forget. We forgot already.
It's 20 years later. It's not even been a full lifetime.
Yeah, no.
And already people have forgotten.
Yeah,
no, we're getting real preachy on this episode. Sorry, guys. But it's disheartening when you see everything that goes on.
All right, so we're going back to this. She's a 23-year-old female.
Yeah.
The guy's 27. She says, this is a huge issue for me, but we don't know what she's talking about yet. He's a conservative Christian, and I am not. Okay. I told him tonight that education is very important to me, and it comes first, and that I always love to learn.
Okay.
Show off.
What, you think you're smarter than me?
Yeah, what? Think you're better than me? I thought he would be impressed since I'm educated. All right, well, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, I don't know if you...
don't get all hoity-toity on us now.
You sound a little full of yourself there, lady. Calm down.
And I love to learn. Okay. He told me that education shouldn't come first.
Oh, boy.
Because I can always get a degree. But I might not be able to have children when I'm older. That's... okay, so he's saying...
Oh, children first.
Children first, degree later. Okay.
Okay, I got it.
I'm not sure what to do. He literally told me that education shouldn't come first. It's very valuable for me for many reasons. So I guess the issue here is that he's like, hey, you need to pump out a baby first, and then you get a degree whenever you want. Which is totally not true at all.
No, once you have a kid, what do
you go back to school and you have a kid? What are you, nuts?
Some parents do that. I'm not taking that away
when
from
they're
those
like
parents.
60?
No. Some parents have kids. I mean, they have help, but they have kids and are still working their way through college. My aunt did it. She had 2 kids and was a single mom and got her fucking master's degree or whatever.
You're not helping us.
Oh, damn it. I tried so hard. My Auntie Becky is a damn inspiration.
No, I don't know. All right, so
people do that, but it's not easy.
No, I would say it's
hard.
rare. So how old was she when she actually graduated?
I don't remember.
Give me a ballpark.
35 to 40.
All right, that's actually younger than I thought.
Yeah. It was.
But that's still.
She had kids young.
I mean, dude, that's a rarity. I feel like that's
I'm
a
saying
big...
she worked her ass off. She was a nurse. She was going to school. She was raising my dad. Pawned my sister and I. My sister and I lived with her. She took on 2 more kids. She used to drop us off.
Great guy.
She used to drop us off at school at 5 a.m. Which
so she's the real hero of your story.
I wrote a paper about her, about how much she inspired me. She was like, she's dead. She's still alive. I love her so much. She's a really badass woman. She built her own furniture. Like they were nice too.
All right, she took wood shop. We get it.
All right. So anyway, my point is that you absolutely can do it. But how old is this girl? She's 23?
Yeah.
She doesn't have to worry about this. She can get a degree and still have time to have kids. This is crazy.
Yeah, but okay. So your aunt, I think, got lucky because the time...
No. I'm saying she could get a degree and then have kids. Say she goes to school for 4 years.
Okay, but I don't think that's the issue.
What's the issue?
The guy's like, well, you need to have the kid now.
Don't be with him then. If he's pressuring,
well,
that's my advice. Break up with him. If he's pressuring to do something you're not ready for, that's crazy.
Because that's the point. Is like he's like, yo, we got to have the kid now.
No.
Education's not important. Do it later.
You guys don't.
Your silly education. Do it whenever you want later. I don't care, but you have to have the kid now.
I think he needs to find someone with the same values as him, and I think you need to find someone with the same values as you. And I think you guys are not on the same page.
Yeah.
Because there are totally women who are 22 and 23 and ready to be parents, and they want to, and they're not worried about education, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But you got to find you a woman that's like that, because this isn't going to work.
Yeah.
You don't want someone to pressure you into having kids when you're not ready and giving up on whatever dreams that you have. That's crazy.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You got to make that choice, because if you decide to have the kid, right, or multiple, you might not need to even go to college, because at that point you're just the stay-at-home mom. And, taking care of the kids should be the number one priority.
Yeah.
So it's like, when you're, who knows how old by the time the kids are gone or, they're not around, would you really go back to college to then try to get a job? Like, it just, to me, it's silly.
That's the question.
Like, what's the point? But if you really are about education, which she says she's all about, learning and going to school, having the kid makes no sense.
Yeah.
It seems like you want to work and you're driven to do that. But yeah, I don't know, man. It seems like a weird.
This is a weird match, and I don't think it's gonna.
Yeah,
work.
it's not gonna work out.
You guys have the same ideas about what you want your life to look like, and that's the hard part. And I'm not saying that you can't make things work. I heard that what is it, Gavin? What's his last name?
McGinnis.
Gavin McGinnis.
Definitely not Newsom.
No, not Newsom. You guys know Gavin McGinnis. He's very very. What's the word I'm looking for?
Right wing?
Right, not right. The other word for right wing. Conservative. He's like super conservative. I was reading his wife is like super liberal.
Yeah.
Yeah, like super, and they make it work. They've been together for.
There are
how
people
long?
who can.
You can. I'm not saying you can't.
It's a rarity as well with that.
It's a rarity, but you absolutely can make it work with different views. I also know another man who I did his podcast, and I don't know if. I mean, he's also pretty conservative, and I was talking to my friend who knows him and his wife, and he's like, his wife is very, very liberal.
Yeah.
And he's like, but they make it work. They've been married for like 15 years or something. They have 3 kids. Like they're making it where you don't have to have the same views, but you have to have the same ideas of how you're going to live your life together. That's the important part.
Yeah.
And he has to respect that.
You can't make a 100% plan of like, we have to do this, and this, but it should be an overarching of like, hey, like this is kind of the direction we want to go in.
Yes.
And it shouldn't be like, I want to go this way and you want to go that way, because that's not going to work for anyone.
That's not going to work. And I think an important thing too is like, hey, do you want to have kids? That's something that you need to discuss early on. And once you feel like things are getting serious, I think that's something you got to talk about.
You want to go to college? That's the devil. You don't want to go there to teach you those liberal lies.
Dude, that woman again on the rehearsal kept blaming everything on Satan.
Oh my God, everything.
Everything was. What was the weird one?
Okay, so this show's on HBO.
Oh God, it's amazing.
Nathan Fielder made it, and he's on it, and
it's amazing.
The one of the episodes, which turns into basically the whole show, is this woman wants to have a kid. So he actually puts her in a house and has child actors come in so she could pretend to be a mother. So she's rehearsing to see if this is something she wants to do.
It's simulating parenthood from adopting a baby to when the kid is 18.
Yeah, they keep switching the kids out, and they get,
So like
older and
every
older.
week the kid gets a little older.
So, and she's a nut, by the way. She is batshit crazy.
Once she starts talking about her life, I was like, oh, got
She's
it.
a loon.
Got it.
And so one episode, they have, they go through the holidays, quickly in the short amount of time. So they get to Halloween. So Nathan puts on Batman. The young kid puts on Robin.
Was it Robin or Superman? I couldn't remember.
No, Robin.
Was it Robin? Okay.
Yeah, Batman and Robin. And the kid is like, to the woman, because the kid's an actor, so he's saying mommy, daddy to Nathan and the woman. So he's like, mommy, put on your costume. And out of nowhere, she's like, oh, I don't celebrate Halloween. I don't believe in it. And Nathan's like, why don't you believe in it? She's like, well,
It's a good Nathan, by the way.
It's horrible. It's a satanic holiday. Nathan's like, what?
And then she starts talking about how Satanists are sacrificing people.
Yeah, he's like,
And he was like, where is that happening?
Yeah,
and she's like,
you obviously don't, go on Google. You just Google it,
And then she said Google was because he looked it up and he was like, oh, well, it turns out Halloween is actually like pagan or Celtic or something like that, which is where we do get a lot of traditions from.
Yeah.
That we still have in practice.
So this loon who was like, hey, Halloween is Satan stuff. They're sacrificing kids. You just don't know about it. Google it and you'll find out. Nathan then Googles it, calls her on her bluff, is like, hey, actually none of this is true. And she goes, well, you know why? And he's like, why? Because Google is run by Satanists.
Yeah.
And he's like, but you told me to Google it. Yeah, well, they're hiding the truth because they're Satanists. And
I can't.
Like, lady. Jeez.
I see so much stuff that just that kind of stuff and other stuff. I just can't take humans seriously at all. We're all ridiculous. We're just a ridiculous species. So anyway, that just made me laugh so hard. I was like, where do we get? Oh yeah, that's right. Being with this Christian guy. I was like, how did we get there?
Don't let him force you into.
No,
it's your life, lady.
Unhappy. Yeah. Don't ever have the kid when you're ready to have the kid. I understand that women, we are on clocks. There is a certain point where you can't have a kid.
But Jesus wants you to have that kid now.
Oh, I think you have the kid when you're ready to have the kid. You got to tell.
That's that Jew talk talking.
Oh, the Jew talking.
Oh man.
Oh man. So anyway, this is. Don't do it. Don't have the kid.
Yeah.
Because it seems like you don't want to.
Yeah. Don't. All right. Moving on.
These people are crazy.
Okay. I don't know what that means. All right. I'm just gonna say I'm 37. Says the guy. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Sister's 32. And her wife is 26. Okay, so they're gay. Bunch of lesbos up in here.
Oh, a couple of lesbians.
Okay, so his sister, and the wife have decided they want to have a baby.
Okay.
I hear some Christians and religious people yelling right now.
They're going to be grooming that
Sinners!
baby. They're grooming that baby.
They have recently floated the idea that I possibly donate my sperm so their child will have our family's genetic material.
Okay, so I see the sister's wife carries the baby from him.
At first, I thought absolutely. Now I'm having second thoughts. It would be their baby, but it would be mine too.
Yeah.
And he puts a question mark, like, maybe?
Well, that's the thing. Yes and no, but yeah, kind of, yeah.
Her wife and I would essentially be having a child that they would raise. I would obviously be relinquishing parental rights to it, but the child would inevitably know that I was the biological father. I don't know what to do. I want to do the right thing, and I don't want to deprive them of what they want, but I don't know if I'd be able to look at the kid like an uncle looks at a niece or nephew. I'm also married, by the way, and my wife feels the same way. It could be strange to see my genetic offspring when we've chosen not to make one for ourselves. I don't know what to do.
I've been almost in this exact situation with you. We're not going to have kids. I never wanted kids.
I wonder if I still have that message, by the way.
You might.
Talk about it. Let me see
so Nick had a friend from college who was or is a lesbian. I guess she was sort of... She was
confused in college. We all knew she was gay, though.
Right, and trying to figure it out. And now she's married, right? Her and her wife are married. And they wanted to have a kid, and they came to Nick for sperm. And Nick and I had been together for we weren't married yet, but we'd been together for, 4 or 5 years at that point. And I've been in that exact situation of thinking about that. And I can tell you that would be a really, really, really tough thing. I ultimately was like, I can't do that, because we decided to not have a kid, but then he would have a kid out there with this other woman, but it would still be his kid. And like, it was just, for me, too much. And I think that that's a valid concern that you're having, because we wouldn't have been in this kid's life either, but you will be in your kid's life as an uncle, but also as a dad. And then your wife also has to see that. That's tough. That's very, very tough. You know, this isn't like a sperm donation where you'll likely never know. This is someone that's close to you. So I don't know. That's tough. I had to make this decision, and I personally couldn't do it. So I would just say really, really think about it.
Yeah, actually, I have the message.
You have the message?
Yeah.
Okay.
And now I went to community college with this girl. So this is like going way back.
Oh, this is before Monmouth.
Before Monmouth,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So this came out of nowhere, by the way. I met her in my math class. They put us in a group. It was me and a bunch of girls, and I became friends with the girls, except one. One was a stuck-up bitch and actually didn't talk to any of us after the class.
She didn't like any of you guys?
No.
All right.
And I could tell she didn't like me at all. But the rest, everyone was really nice. Became friends with everyone, and became a cool thing. So she messaged me out of nowhere and goes, hey, so I wanted to give you a story. I've been asking a select few guys, one I feel I could trust, and even if they weren't comfortable, I would trust them to ask around for me too, blah, blah. Okay, here's the story. Her and her friend have been together well, this is actually way longer than I thought it would be. Holy crap. Maybe I won't read this whole thing.
Wow, that is long.
Hold
oh
on.
my God.
Maybe I can
I don't remember it being that long
Yeah.
either.
Oh boy. Maybe I won't read all this. This is long as hell. Basically, the donor would have no financial obligations, right?
Yeah, you gotta like sign a thing. And then you're together for a long time. And that's what I was thinking about. Like, one day this kid wants to know who his dad is. And then he like, and I wouldn't want the kid to not know who his dad is. And then I gotta like look at this kid that my husband had with someone else. Like, that's rough.
Okay,
dude.
I'll just read this one part. We did some research on sperm banks, but really would like to explore our options with people we know and trust. Even though it has been many years since I've seen or had a conversation with you, I have good memories of you being kind. And that is really my number one criteria at this point.
Aw.
However strange that may sound.
It's a little strange. You should think about it. His genetics aren't going to be good.
Hey.
We should have told her that.
I'm
Like,
going through my life trying to remember and think of truly good people. And I was one of them.
Aw.
And she goes on and talks about everything. But it caught me off guard. I was like, wow, that's like a big...
It's a big compliment.
Yeah, no, it is a big compliment.
Yeah.
Yeah, so screw you, dude. Why are you with this guy? Because I'm kind.
Really upset him, man.
Well, you know what's going to be funny after this episode? Yeah, I really bothered Nick. I don't care. You're just some anonymous guy. I just find it funny that you want her to leave me. Like, why?
Did he really say he wants me to leave you?
Yeah, you should leave because I'm a goofball. I'm a clown.
Oh.
Am I here to amuse you? Actually, yes, I am. That's the point of this show.
Is that funny?
You know,
Is it?
I think we have time for one more. Did we answer? I don't remember. Did we even answer this?
So my answer to this is really, really, really think about it. And if you're having second thoughts, I would say maybe don't do it, because that is going to be something that you're going to have to live with, because you're absolutely right. Like, all of the things that you're concerned about, you're going to be in this kid's life. That is going to be your kid.
And what if you're like, oh my God, I want to be his dad?
But you can't.
But I want to be.
But you can't.
No, your
It's
uncle.
not
I'm your
kid.
dad.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but you
it's-
signed something saying that, no, I'm not, I have no parental rights here, but that's still your kid. It's rough. It's rough.
Actually, we're out of time.
Are we out of time?
We're out
Is
of
that
time.
it?
That's it.
Oh, this was a fun one.
Yeah, I got nothing short.
There's no low one. There's lots of people with big problems.
Big problems.
Lots of problems.
So yeah, that's the show.
So many people with big problems.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I'm gonna try this again. Last week it didn't work.
What? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh
I'm
my
just-
God. And for the audio people, I point to her for her to plug, and she looks at me like I'm an asshole. Asshole. Rudy, you're an asshole.
It's XiaLand everywhere. It's XiaLand everywhere. Nick, are you breaking my tablet? Did you just break my tablet?
I mean, that's why. I mean, usually you break it. That's why I have this in an otter
I
box.
was gonna say
Like
I
this
haven't.
huge otter
I
box.
haven't dropped it though. I haven't.
Go
You
screw,
did.
lady.
You just
go
dropped it.
Go live with the online YouTube guy who wants to be with you so badly.
Why don't you suck farts?
I do suck farts, and I love it.
Well, that didn't go the way I thought it was going to.
Well, it reminds me. I was listening to Jim and Sam, and they were talking about road rage. And the guy goes, hey, man, you know how I just kill the mood for road rage? So, like, if I cut someone off by accident and the guy wants to murder me, he goes, the guy goes, hey, man, is there a problem? You know, I'm going to fight, you know, this and then they start yelling at each other. So then the guy goes, as angry as they are to me, I give that back, but I say this, well, I'm going to get out of my car and suck your dick. Yeah, I'm going to do it. And the guy's like, well, what?
That would be the way to do it. Kind of like if you're about to get in a fight with a guy, if you just get naked.
Yeah, which we've seen.
Yeah,
and they're just like, what the hell?
They're like, excuse me, what's happening?
What? Like,
that
yeah.
wouldn't work for a woman. A woman would just beat your ass if you got naked. She would
Yeah.
be like, I don't care. Come here. Give me that titty. I'm going to use it to grab onto and
Just
beat your
hair
face.
and tit. Yeah.
Hair and tit.
Man, we're
Ugh.
killing the whole monetization for this episode.
Oh, man. We're really bad at this.
Yeah, all right. Do your plugs.
XiaLand everywhere. You can find me XiaLand everywhere. XiaLand on Twitch. On Twitch, twitch.tv/XiaLand. I stream live on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday.
Do you?
I do.
Oh, okay.
You're there. You set it up.
What?
And yeah, so come check out the live streams. It's fun. I get to chat with you all, and that's my favorite part. And then also on OnlyFans, XiaLand there as well. We get the episode a week early, plus some other fun content.
Sometimes, if we record at time.
Sometimes if we record
Z
at
is
time.
very busy.
I've been very busy. I'm not complaining. It's been great, but I have been very busy. I was just in Boston for basically Comic-Con Fan Expo. It was freaking fantastic.
You met Gina Carano.
I met Gina Carano. She's the sweetest.
And,
She's very sweet.
Greg Sestero.
And Greg Sestero, yes.
Yeah.
I went with Chrissy Mayer and that Star Wars girl, Anna. If you guys don't know who they are, you're
Or
crazy.
Anna, that Star Wars girl.
Anna, that Star Wars girl.
Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal weekend. Such beautiful humans I got to hang out with. It was so fun.
Did you see her boobs?
Did I see Anna's boobs?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
Is that what people are you asking me that?
That's
or
just
other
personal
people
for me.
asking? That's just for
That's a Nick original.
Just for Nick.
All right, we'll see you guys next
my
week.
God,
Thank you for
my
listening.
God.
Thank you for watching. Write a review, please, if you're on Apple.
Oh yeah.
Give
we
us
need
give us
some
a 5
reviews.
star. Write how much you like the show. That'd be great.
Do that. Do that for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, my boobs. Ew.
Your boobs are weird.
Oh.
They're long and skinny.
Oh. Bye.
Bye.